Conversations with Cliff. I'm a free-thinking spiritual beast. We can keep it ratchet or classy. I'm here for the conversation.
Hey, what up? It's your boy Cliff, bringing another episode of Conversations with Cliff to you. I'm one half of the Dat Spill podcast crew, and I'm here today, and the conversation we're talking about is fatherhood. And before I go into that, I want to introduce you to my man, MrBjay. He is a haircut stylist. He could probably put a deck together for you in about 20 minutes. The man has multiple talents. He's very sophisticated. MrBjay.
Don't worry about him, y'all. How y'all doing, y'all? MrBjay here at MrBjay's Tongue Social at 527 Southwest Boulevard at Kansas City, Missouri, man, 64108. Thank you for having me, brother.
Appreciate you being on. In all seriousness, before I get into it, like I said, we're talking about fatherhood. I just want to put that out as a disclaimer. This is no slight to any father or dad that wasn't around their child and their children's life, but we just want to talk about it. A couple years ago, I read a book by Omar Epps called My Fatherless Fatherhood. And one of the messages in there, he said, the absence of my fatherhood made me step into my role as a father. And so when I read that, it kind of struck me. I'm a father of 5. I've been all over the world. I've been in the military, and I've been away. I've been away from my oldest son for most of his life. And I just want to get into it and see what I can do and help others see what they can do to be better fathers. So, BJ, what was it like growing up as a child for you?
It was easy but tough, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? My dad went to jail when I was 6. Got out when I was 22. You know what I'm saying? So, getting to that point of you got to find your way. You know what I mean? And he wasn't there at the time based off of certain decisions or whatever. But my mom made it happen. My family made it happen or whatever. But then it was up to me to see certain things.
Right. So what did that look like? How did you manage to become the man you are today without having that father figure? Or did you have somebody kind of step into that role to be a father?
I had a stepdad at the time, you know what I mean? But like I say, father figure wise, I don't know if that was that, you know what I'm saying? If you want to say that, it was more or less like a male role model in your life or whatever. But I'm going to say perseverance more than anything got me here. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So we come from an era, growing up, born in the 80s, raised in the 90s. We come from an era of survival. The kids now, they come in an era of they just living. Yeah.
They don't know nothing about a struggle. They don't know nothing about doing anything hard. What was that for you when you hit around them teenage years? What was that like surviving? How did you survive?
Man, mom had like a couple jobs. So at the time I was hustling, which is different for me, which, I glad my kids ain't even close to even that atmosphere, know. But I don't know, it was just from doing anything to work, I remember it was a couple times we didn't have water, you know what I mean? And so you gotta light candles and all kind of stuff. So
exactly.
I don't know, man, it was tough, but here we is.
Yeah, no, I remember them days, no lights, having to wash my clothes out in the tub.
Yeah. Hang
them around the house to dry, running extension cords from my house to the neighbor house. All that. So, you know what I'm saying? Our kids these days, they don't understand and value that.
No.
So what are we doing to teach them that value?
Right now, with today's age, we have social media, which we didn't really have. It was like the beginning of our time.
Right.
So now, I think that's the difference, is the social media. Everybody has cell phones that's in their hands now compared to we had computers, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I think everything is so readily accessible to the kids, and I think that's the biggest issue. We as parents, and it's, I say it's my fault too, that I say, well, go Google it. Mm-hmm. Go look it online compared to, all right, back in the day, we sat down, looked at a dictionary or thesaurus and figured it out. So sometimes I feel like we can blame us for kind of how it's going on because we trying to spoil our kids and give them a little bit more than what we did have.
Okay. Okay. I like what you brought up right there. We're giving our kids more than what we had. My fear is sending my sons out to the world too soon and not being prepared for the life that we endured.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The hustling mentality,
Yeah.
the street mentality, all that. I'm not saying that we was out here wilding like that, but we learned a certain essence of the world that they're not privy to.
Yeah.
How do you prepare your sons for the climate of the world and just the things? Everything is kind of turned up now. Everything is on social media, like you said. How do you prepare your kids for that? Like
the reality of life.
The reality of life.
Yeah.
The harsh reality of life.
I think the start of it is with me first per se. I'm an entrepreneur per se. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I'm hoping my kids first of all get to see me grinding every day, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You know what I mean? And want to come and, hey, Dad, can I sweep? Or, hey, Dad, can I get some money? You know what I mean? Hopefully that opens up their mindset a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? But I can't, of course, you can't do it all, but hopefully they can see at least that bit, because I don't want to force my kids into work or to labor and then they regret me later or something like that. You know what I mean? So it's just that fine balance of, I want you to go work, but I don't want to force you to be like me.
Yeah.
At the same time.
Yeah.
So it's a tough pull, man.
I dig it. So I got 5 boys. Mm-hmm. Out of the 5, 3 of them easy gonna be 6-footers.
Yeah.
The normal route as a man, as a father, if we want to put some kind of ball in their hand and say go play sports, do you think we should be changing the narrative to say, because you know your kids, you know them better than anybody else. Should we be changing that narrative to say, just because you 6 foot, gonna be 180, 200 pounds, maybe sports is not the route.
Yeah.
Maybe let me put this book in your hand. Let me put this other element in your hand to see if that's something else, if that's a lane for you.
Yeah.
Or do we give them a piece and say, let's try football, let's try basketball, let's try science, let's try.
I feel all of those is all avenues that we have to try with all the kids. I don't care if your kid is, 4'3" all the way to 6'7".
Right.
Right. You can say, okay, how many doctors do you know that's literally 6'3", 6'4",
A lot.
and they're not athletic at all.
Right.
They tried it. They tried something. You know what I'm saying? But I think that's the biggest thing is just. Of course, you want to try, and make sure your kids is at least some have, coordinated or, some type of sports. Rather you playing bowling, what I mean? You want to have some type of coordination to it. But if that's not you, that's fine. If I want to go buy you a telescope and you want to, do astrology, then that's what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
But at some point, like I said, with parents, you have to be willing to sit down and talk to your kids and be willing to see what they like compared to saying this is what you about to do.
True. Me at 37, I feel like I missed out on a lot of things in my childhood because in a way I was forced to be an adult way sooner than I was ready to because of life circumstances.
Yeah, same here. Yeah.